Hi all. In the previous class, we have seen how to calculate the state transition matrix or how to calculate any function by using Clay-Hamilton method. In this class, we will see one more problem, how to identify the state transition matrix by using a Clay-Hamilton method. Now, find the state transition matrix for the given matrix A by using Clay-Hamilton method. Now, what is the Clay-Hamilton theorem states? Clay-Hamilton theorem states that every square matrix should satisfy its own characteristics equation. That is, in this the square matrix is going to be A. So, every square matrix A should satisfy its own characteristics equation. And moreover, in this problem, they asked us to identify our state transition matrix. So, what is the representation of your state transition matrix? It is nothing but e to the power of at. Okay. Now we need to identify what is e power at. So the function what we need to obtain is f of a, which is your e to the power of at. Now we need to write what is our p of lambda, because we are not going to keep a as such to while solving your Clay-Hamilton method. In this you need to identify the characteristics polynomial p of lambda is equal to e to the power of lambda t. Next one, we need the value of lambda. So we need to identify the characteristics equation lambda I minus a. It is your characteristics polynomial. Since we need the value of our lambda, we need to write what is our characteristics equation, that is lambda I minus a is equal to 0. Lambda is a constant, I is your identity matrix and a is the matrix given in the problem. Okay. After substituting lambda I minus a, we are getting this particular matrix, and for this matrix we need to identify the equation, that is determinant value. When you identify a determinant value for this particular matrix, you are getting lambda minus 1 into lambda square minus 3 lambda plus 2. So the roots of this particular characteristics equation will give the eigenvalues. Here how many eigenvalues we have? 3 eigenvalues. Now we need to write the remainder polynomial equation. We all know that the remainder polynomial equation is represented with r of lambda, which is equal to alpha naught. It is your first term, and second term is going to be alpha 1 into lambda plus third term is going to be alpha 2 into lambda square. Why here we have used 3 terms means we have 3 eigenvalues. So we need to use 3 terms in the remainder polynomial equation. Once the remainder polynomial equation is written, you need to frame the equation. 3 equations you need to frame at different values of lambda. For example, at lambda 1 is equal to 1, what is my r of lambda? R of lambda is going to be alpha naught is going to be a constant and alpha 1 into lambda. So in the place of alpha 1, here you will be getting alpha 1 plus alpha 2. It is the remainder polynomial equation at lambda is equal to 1. Same way, at lambda is equal to 2. Second one is your at lambda is equal to 1. Same thing. Your r of lambda is going to be alpha naught plus alpha 1 plus alpha 2. It is your second equation. Coming back to the third value of lambda, that is at lambda 3 is equal to 2. My remainder polynomial equation is going to be, first term is going to be alpha naught, second term is 2 alpha 1 and third term is going to be 4 alpha 2. So you have got 3 equations, that is r of lambda 1, r of lambda 2 and r of lambda 3. So at different values of lambda, r of lambda 1, r of lambda 2 and the last one is your r of lambda 3. Now we need to obtain different equations, that is you have obtained 3 equations. After obtaining the 3 equations, here one more thing we wanted to know. Your first equation, it is right. For lambda 1 is equal to 1, it is going to be alpha naught plus alpha 1 plus alpha 2. We know that the R of lambda equation is alpha naught plus alpha 1 into lambda plus alpha 2 into lambda square. At lambda 1 is equal to 1, directly we are substituting what is our lambda. Here I forgot to inform that here the roots are repeated. Since the roots are repeated, you need to use your generalized eigenvector. So you have to use your generalized eigenvector. In generalized eigenvector, what we need to do to find the remainder polynomial equation for the first repeated roots, you need to differentiate this polynomial, that is dr of lambda with respect to lambda. If you differentiate, you will get alpha 1 plus 2 alpha 2. Alpha 1 plus 2 alpha 2 is equal to, on the other side, e to the power of lambda t, right? So with respect to lambda, if you are differentiating, you will get e to the power of lambda t into t. With respect to lambda, if you differentiate, you will be getting t over here. That is your second equation. So in this equation only, you have to substitute lambda is equal to 2. Sorry, lambda is equal to 1 because your second root is going to be 1. Next, third one, at lambda 3 is equal to 2, just simply you substitute the value of lambda in R of lambda equation. So when the roots are repeated, you have to go for your generalized eigenvector formula. Okay, so the generalized eigenvector formula is shown in this particular path. After that, you have to solve all the three equations to obtain the value of alpha naught, alpha 1 and alpha 2. After that, you have to find out your f of a, that is e to the power of at, which is equal to alpha naught I plus alpha 1 a plus alpha 2 a square, where alpha naught, alpha 1, alpha 2 are constants that we have obtained from the previous solution. I is going to be your identity matrix. A is your square matrix given in the problem. So after substituting, you will get f of a is equal to so and so matrix. So this is the final answer of obtaining your state transition matrix by using Clay-Hamilton method. Are you all clear? So the next method of identifying your state transition matrix is similarity transformation method. So in the similarity transformation method, we all know that the matrix A is of the order n cross n. So we will be getting what is the number of state variables. According to that, we will be getting the number of eigenvalues, that is lambda 1, lambda 2, and it goes on till lambda n. So this one, if it is a diagonal matrix, if A is going to be your diagonal matrix, then you will get the diagonal matrix as lambda 1, lambda 2, and it goes on till lambda n, and the rest all places will be equal to 0. Like this you will be getting the matrix A if it is going to be a diagonal matrix. In similarity transformation method, to get the diagonal matrix, what is your new value of your A? So the new value of A is represented like this, that is a diagonal matrix which is equal to M inverse AM, and you can write your e to the power of at, that is e to the power of diagonalizing matrix, the state transition matrix is equal to I plus new value of A into T, new value of A square into T. Like this it goes on till your nth variable. This one will be very clear if you are undergoing one problem with a solution. Now consider your problem. Find the state transition matrix for the given matrix A by means of similarity transformation method. In this you need to identify what is your lambda I minus A. Just check what is your lambda I minus A. You will be getting one characteristics equation. From this you find the value of lambda, that is your eigenvalue. And you need to identify your model matrix. Why? Because we need to identify what is your M inverse A, M in case of your similarity transformation. To identify your M, you need to find your eigenvector. The solution of the eigenvector is obtained from the eigenvalues. Since you have identified two eigenvalues, for at lambda 1 is equal to minus 1, identify what is your lambda I minus A. Same thing, at lambda 2 is equal to minus 2, identify what is your lambda I minus A. From this, you all know how to identify your model matrix. The model matrix formula is going to be CK1, CK2 and it goes on till CKN. The value of K can be anything like between 1 to N. After identifying your eigenvector, write the model matrix and then identify what is your state transition matrix. State transition matrix is going to be e to the power of lambda 1t, here e to the power of lambda 2 into t. Find out M inverse, and you guys know very well how to identify the value of M inverse, and e to the power of at is equal to m into here e to the power of at is equal to m inverse am. So the value of what is the polynomial that we need to identify over here, here we need to identify what is your at. So substitute the value here over here to identify your required state transition matrix by means of your similarity transformation method. So in the next class, we will be solving some problems how to identify the state response, complete state response of the system. So that includes zero input response, zero state response. And before identifying your zero input response and zero state response, first we need to identify whether that particular equation belongs to a homogeneous equation or non-homogeneous equation. Thank you, students.